We're approaching our last day of learning about the box trick, and what's special about today is now that you guys kind of understand the pattern with the signs and when the parentheses are going to be the same sign, when they're going to be different, how to decide what even is going in the parenthesis. Now that you guys have the basics of that, I want to get into the last day of the box trick stuff, which is when A, or the first number, isn't 1 anymore. Okay, so if you look at all of these on the screen right now, the 1 through 4, you'll see that all of the first and last numbers now, they both have a regular number in front, so it's not just going to be 1 that we're dealing with. So we're going to practice with that, and let's see how it goes. Okay, so in number 1, like always, the first thing you want to do is look at the back sign. Okay, so the back sign's a minus. That tells me that when I go to my final answer, yes, there's going to be 2 parentheses. Let's switch this color out actually. So there's going to be 2 parentheses, and they're both going to be opposite signs, right? Because it's a minus sign in the back, so one's plus, one's minus, and then we won't know which one gets the plus and which one gets the minus until the end, once we figured out the factors, okay? Also remember, because it's minus, when we multiply our stuff in the diagonals, they have to subtract to get 13 this time. Okay, so here we go. I have 2b squared plus 13b minus 24. So we want to look at the outside numbers here, so the 2 and the 24. Two numbers that multiply to get 2 is 2 and 1. Okay. A set that multiplies to get 24. The first thing that comes to mind maybe is 12 and 2. Okay. So with these ones, it's really trial and error. As you get more used to them, you'll get better at figuring out what the pairs are that will work. But for now, let's try this, okay? So remember, we start in this top corner and we go 2 times 2 is 4. Bottom corner, 1 times 12 is 12. If I subtract 12 minus 4, is that going to end up giving me 13 in the middle? No, okay, if I subtract, I'm not going to end up getting 13, so that doesn't work out. But what happens here, you guys, when one of the numbers isn't 1, before you completely erase and start over, what you need to do is see if you switch it. So at first I had the 12 and 2 first. Let's see if I go 2 and 12, if that will make a difference. Okay, so try the combinations first before you completely disregard it. So 2 times 12 is 24. 1 times 2 is 2. If I subtract 2 from 2 and 24, do I get 13? No. Okay, so I've switched it and it hasn't worked, so 2 and 12 probably isn't the factors that I want. Let's go back to the drawing board. So 2 and 1 isn't going to change because there's only 2 things that multiply to get 2. But maybe with 24 I could try, how about 8 and 3? Okay, 2 times 3 is 6. 1 times 8 is 8. 8 minus 6, remember minus because the back sign's minus, is 2. So that doesn't work out because I have to get 13. But let's see what happens if I switch it and go, instead of 8 on the top, let's see if I put 3 on the top, if that will make a difference. Okay. 2 times 8 is 16. 1 times 3 is 3. If I subtract 3 and 16, am I going to get 13? I am, hooray. So these are the factors, okay? So remember, we follow the arrow. The biggest product is going to get the plus, okay? So following this arrow right here where my cursor is right here, is 2 times 8 bigger, or is 1 times 3 bigger? Follow the arrow. 2 times 8 bigger, or 1 times 3? The 2 times 8 is bigger, so since my first sign is a plus, I'm going to follow, put a plus next to that 8. And then since that's a plus, this one has to be minus. And then remember, when you group them going across in the parenthesis. So we have a 2b minus 3, and then we have a b plus 8 as our final answer. Okay, and if you want to check your answer, remember, all you have to do is just distribute and FOIL them out so that you can see what the answer, get the original problem is. And if you get the original problem, you should end up with the correct factors. Let's go ahead and look at number 2, and let's work on that one, okay? So we have here, we look at the back sign. Back sign is plus. So remember, my final answer when it's a plus means that the signs are going to be the same. Now, which sign do I use? I scroll on over here to the front. They're both going to be the same, and they're both going to be minus since this first sign is minus, okay? So plus in the back means the signs are the same. Figure out which sign to use, go to the front, and that's how that matches up. So let's work on this. So for 5, not many choices. 5 and 1 is the only combination, but 6 has a couple. So let's see how 6 goes. First thing that comes to mind is, let's try maybe 6 and 1 maybe. Okay, so 6 and 1, because this back sign is plus, we're adding this time to get the middle number. So 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 6 is 6. If I add 6 and 5 together, I get 11, which is not good. That's not what I want. But before I cross this out, let's see if I switch the numbers and make 1 first and then 6, if that will make a difference. 5 times 6 is 30. Okay, so I can actually stop right here, right? Because if 5 times 6 is already 30 and my number is 17 in the middle, I already know that's not very good. Okay, because I still have to multiply that, and that's going to be way bigger than 17. So let's not even continue with that one. What are some other factors of 6 and 3 that might work? 6 and 3, I'm sorry. Of 6 that might work. Maybe the 3 and 2 maybe might work. 5 times 3 is 15. 1 times 2 is 2. And if I'm adding, because the back sign is plus, if I add those together, yes, I get 17. I can stop. We don't have to worry about signs, because since it's a plus, they're both minus minus. So we just group them going across. And we have 5y minus 2, y minus 3. And then done. Okay. Let's try number 3, and let's see how that goes. So, for number 3, go straight to the back sign. My back sign is a plus, so I scroll on over here to the front and see that they're both pluses, so that tells me in the end, signs are the same, and they're going to be plus, plus. Okay, and let's work on this. So the good thing is 2 and 5, they're both prime, so there's not a lot of combinations to make that work out. So 2 and 1, and then 5 and 1. Let's see how that works out. And we're adding to get 3 because the back sign is plus. So 2 times 1 is 2. 5 times 1 is 5. Since the back sign's plus, we're adding to get the middle number. Oops, that doesn't work out. Okay, if we were subtracting, it would have worked out, but since we're adding, that's not going to work out. Before we totally erase everything, let's try and flip it. Instead of having the 5 on the top, let's have the 1 on the top this time. Okay. 2 times 5 is 10. Okay, so stop there. If it's 10 and we're adding, 10 is way bigger than 3, so that doesn't work out. So I can stop there because that's not going to work out. And we're at a problem now, right? We're at a problem because since 2 and 5 are prime, there's nothing that I can do anymore to put any other combination to try and make this work to get 3 in the middle. So there's no more factors that will work. So when that happens and you pretty much get stumped and there's nothing you can do anymore to try and figure out what the factors are, there will actually be no parentheses in the final answer, so I'm erasing them, because you can't factor it. There's nothing you can find. There's no numbers that are going to let it work out. So when that happens, you write when you can't find any factors. You guys remember? You write prime. You say that it's prime. Okay. So final answer for this is prime again because there's no factors that are going to let this work out. Okay. Let's try number 4. I got 2 more, so 4 and 5. 5 not on the screen, but let's see how this goes. So I have a minus sign here in the back, so that tells me final parenthesis is going to be plus minus, right? Okay, so one's going to be plus, one's going to be minus. Opposite signs, the bigger product is going to get that minus sign. So let's work this out. Let's look at the 2. Let's look at the 27. So products, 2 numbers that multiply to 2 are 2 and 1. For 27, I have 3 and 9. And I'm subtracting this time because my second sign is minus, so I'm subtracting to get the middle number, which is 15. So I'm going across. 2 times 9 is 18. 1 times 3 is 3. And I'm subtracting 3 minus 18 is going to give me that 15 there. So it worked. First try. So I was able to find 15 right away with this. So remember, all you do is the biggest product gets the first sign. So follow the arrows. Is 2 times 9 bigger, or is 1 times 3 bigger? 2 times 9 or 1 times 3? The 2 times 9 is bigger, so if I follow the arrow, follow, at the end of the arrow it gets the minus sign, the first sign. And then if this is minus, this one has to be plus because they're opposite signs. You group them going across. And so, key thing to remember for this one, you guys, is that it has double variable, so we're going to have double variable in our final answer here. So we get 2a, or 2a plus 3, and then 1a, or a, minus 9b. And that's our final answer for this guy. Okay, so we have 2a plus 3, and then a minus 9b. Okay, last problem. I hope I didn't rewrite it again. Okay, there we go. Another problem. So I'm just changing it up a little bit so that the squared part is in the back. I just wanted to remind you guys that you just preserve the same order. Even if it's rearranged, you preserve the same order. So here's how this is going to end up looking like. So what I have here is I have a minus sign in the back. Okay, so both of them are going to be opposite signs. Okay, one is plus, one is minus. Again, the order doesn't matter for the parentheses. You could have had the minus one first. It doesn't matter. Okay, and let's come up with some stuff that will work out. So 3 is the easy one. 3 and 1. 22. Let's try 11 and 2 and see how that works out. And remember, you're going to be subtracting because the second sign is minus. Subtracting to get 5 is your goal. So I go across. 11 times 1 is 11. 2 times 3 is 6. If I subtract these guys, I get 5. So hooray, I end up with the middle number. First try again. And the first sign is plus, so I follow this. 11 times 1 bigger, or is 2 times 3 bigger? 11 times 1 or 2 times 3? So the 11 times 1 is bigger, so it takes this first sign. So follow. First sign was plus, so that gets the plus. And by process of elimination, this one has to get the minus. And then you group them across, okay? Now take note, where's the p? Is the p in the first term or in the third term in the original problem? Is the p here with the 22? Or is it here with the 3? It's here with the 3, so the p is actually going to be on the back part of the problem, final answer, okay? So going across, I have 11 minus 3p, and then I have 2 plus p. And that's it. That's all I can do with this. Okay. And final answer is that, so don't forget to take the quiz.